it, I think. Okay, from indoctrination to procreation. Can anyone stop this prolific pop? Well, his baby making is record making. Yes, Desmond Hatchett, seen here, great beard, has 30 children. 30 children with 11 women. The most in Knox County, Tennessee. I say that like it was close. And 9 of those tots were born in the last 3 years after he vowed in 2009 on local television, quote, "I'm done." But there is a downside to his brood. The 33-year-old struggles to make child support payments on his minimum wage job and is often in court begging for a break on writing checks to so many moms. Officials say they can't force him by law to keep his pants on, which isn't what the cops told me last night in the park, but okay. Anyway, I bet you're wondering, what does Donkey with an itchy chin think about all of this?
Video.
Good place for a scratch. Don't smell something, Donkey.
Interesting fact, he's hung like a donkey. Adam, is it his fault? Is it this guy's fault that women find him so irresistible? I mean, they all say yes, right?
I don't know what's going on there. This story is so troubling in so many ways. Because we haven't even gotten into the issue of how many of the 30 children, is it?
Yeah.
Are on some kind of assistance.
True.
Because most likely, and I'm just guessing, but I would imagine that the mothers of these children probably are not making good decisions.
Yeah.
9 months before they're born, I'm sure they're not the kind of people who are employable, and you and I are now paying for those 30 kids.
That's the downside here, Jim. The thing that blows my mind is I don't even know 11 women. He has 11. He has 11 partners with children.
Here's the moral of the story, Greg. We finally found somebody who hates condoms more than me. I really think that after 25 kids, the government should be allowed to go in and confiscate your testicles.
That's amazing. That's the thing is there a legal? I mean, no. There's nothing you can do.
God, no. Under no circumstances would you want to give the government that kind of power. Coming from someone like you, how could you say that?
What do you mean?
I mean, we wouldn't.
I was just I am here only, Remy, to pose questions. That's all I do.
Whatever you say.
Boldly. Yeah, and you're only defending him because you have 9 children.
Yeah, I have 9 children. Look, I want children one day, just as much as the next woman. But I think you've got to assign blame where blame is due. I think they're both equally, each mother to these children, as well as this guy, are equally responsible. And if he can't afford to pay for the children, then the women have to look to other sources of support besides just paying dollars.
And that is us. Bill, he claims to know all of the children's names and their birthdays, so he really is a great father.
With a mind from Mensa. I would have been able to keep track for 5, much less their ages. If you really want kids, and you're all about this, just go to Knoxville and be in the general area with him. Just be in the same room with him, and the stork will come like that.
It's amazing. It is amazing, though. Wouldn't at 15, wouldn't he have said, like, I got to slow down? Yeah, I bet at 15, he had no idea he was halfway there. That's like, when you're going for a walk in a town, and you're like at a map, and you think you're terrible metaphor. You're like only 3 blocks away, and you go, no, it's going to take me twice as far. He was only halfway there.
And no offense to Norton's personal choices, but condoms are not really that bad. The spermicide doesn't burn. It's better than a baby.
Yeah, but it tastes terrible, Bill.
You know what? Here's an interesting question that I will pose before moving on. What if he could support them by himself? Would this be a story? No.
Of course not.
No.
The story is that it's everyone's burden.
Well, you can only take 50% of somebody's pay, I think, for this. And I read that they were giving, some of the mothers were getting $1.49 in child support.
Yeah.
Which, what do you do? I hope you budget that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, there is that family where they've got something like 12, maybe 15
like 18
kids, but they
kids,
support themselves.
Yeah.
This might be crazy.
This is nuts. All right, from baby deploying to being annoying. Do dietary quirks make bigger jerks? Well, a study has found that self-important twits who eat organic foods are just as awful as we thought they were. Yep, according to the Social Psychology and Personality Science Journal, I love their horoscopes, people who pass on pesticides tend to have harsher moral judgments of others and reduced pro-social behavior. Said one researcher of the subjects who were given organic, quote, "There's something about being exposed to organic food that made them feel better about themselves, and that made them kind of jerks a little bit, I guess. Good enough for me and this fella." Let them shop in peace, little fella. Though I understand it gets hot in there and you need to get out. Remy, okay. when you're at the grocery store shopping, as you probably don't, do you feel that there are people silently judging you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I don't go to the grocery store all that often, unless I'm having friends over.
Or criminals.
Or criminals, that's correct. I try not to go to the grocery store, but it's true. I live in an area in New Jersey where, you know, people have some level of affluence or wealth, and I find that those who go to the fancy grocery store, they make a point of, you know, stressing that I shop in this place and I only have organic and my children's food never touches a microwave.
Yeah.
They tend to have far more judgmental views on the way, you know, a single woman would live her life, or, you know, other people live their
Do
lives.
you ever hit them? Because I do it.
Only once, but I don't talk
once.
about it.
No, I just meant hypothetically. I was trying to trap you. Jim, does this make sense? It kind of explains to everybody that you can't stand, right?
Yes and no. Part of it is that most of them are probably in better shape and better looking. So it's no shock that the carrot-eating yoga teacher is going to be more of a snot than the fatso getting Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way they are. Better looking people are more irritating than average to mushy people.
I'm not so sure that's true. I worked at a health magazine, and I always found that the people that were into nutrition just replaced well-educated with well-versed in labels. So instead of quoting Othello, they would quote organic ingredients. That was their way of saying, I am better than you are. It wasn't that they were better looking. In fact, oftentimes they were like jaundiced because they didn't get all the nutrients from protein. They didn't eat meat, and they were weak and frail. Adam, cut me off before I say something stupid.
I'd be curious, you know, the government wastes a lot of money on a lot of studies that we don't need. I'd be curious if there's a study of people who eat, quote, organic diets versus those of us who just eat food. And, you know, broccoli is always organic. And what are the true outcomes here? You know, the Whole Foods people are paying, what, $5 for a thing of broccoli that you can get for $2 at Fairway? So
I mean, the funny thing is, organic is anti-poor. No poor person can afford that stuff. And if you start like legislating out the other foods, which, you know, when they're talking about taxing fattening foods, what are they going to have left? Really expensive broccoli. Bill, here's a brain buster. Does eating organic make people annoying, or do annoying people just like to eat organic? The chicken or the egg, if you will, or organic egg and free-range chicken?
I don't believe in either, okay?
Yes.
And that's just my belief system, so you can't attack it. Secondly, yes, these people, organic food by definition is more expensive than regular food. So therefore, everyone that goes to Whole Foods is rich. And I'm not gonna sit idly by while you guys demonize the wealthy. These guys are not a-holes, they're job creators. Thank you.
man, we were all quiet on that one.
Yeah.
And if you knew what I spend, I chew like vegan gum because aspartame is so bad for you.
Really?
Yeah, Glenn Beck set me into a panic with all that aspartame talk. I swear to God, I pay like $3 for a pack of gum, vegan gum, with xylitol in it. I'm one of these people. I'm one of these beautiful people.
You know what it is? It's anybody who's serious about anything pertaining to health when they're under 50. Because like you have to start thinking about your health at a certain point. But like people who are like in the gym that take their yoga seriously with their little rolled up mat, generally a jerk. They're the people. I got one time a person holding a yoga mat cut in front of me for a cab. That's the perfect encapsulation of this story.
Now, these are the people who put their towel on the bike in the spin room.
Yes.
30 minutes before the class.
Yes.
And then it's on the bike you want.
Yes. Oh, I saw a guy set it up on the stair climber, and then he left.
Right.
And it's like,
It's
and
like,
then he
no,
went,
that's mine.
And then he went and he worked on weights. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's squatting. That's like going into a vacant building in Detroit and just living there. You can't do that on a stair climber.
Boy, you guys are making a lot of interesting observations for people who hate gym people.
Yeah.
Yes, this is interesting.
All right. Coming up, how many murderers get away with their crime? Remy Spencer discusses her new book, I'm Up to 49. But first, coming up, blah, 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 Travolta, blah, 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 massages, blah, 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 scrotum.